Let's go, baby! Today is Friday, January 12th, 2024, and as the halfway mark of the NHL regular season comes and goes, we have ourselves the Money Puck playoff odds. As of Friday 12th, I probably should have had this on the screen earlier, 6:09 a.m. Eastern Time, so 3 a.m. in the morning after last night. We have ourselves the odds that I think open up this video with tremendous good vibes. We have some other stats that I'm going to go over in this video as well, but we're kicking things off with the most important one of them all. The Vancouver Canucks have a 99.94% chance at making the playoffs. They are .06 in the no category. If you have 10,000 ping pong balls in a lottery labeled 1 to 10,000, you have only 6 of them that have no on Vancouver's playoff odds. Vancouver also has by the way, I don't know if the math is 100% correct, so if anybody who's smarter than me wants to go out there in the comments and correct me, hey, you're free to do so. Canucks have a 71% chance at making the second round, a 45.8% chance at making the third round. They have a 28.7% chance of making the finals. Dude, think about that. Think about the odds right here. 28%, let's round it down. Let's be generous to the rest of the NHL. 28%, let's round that down to 25. Yeah, the Vancouver Canucks have a 1 in 4 chance of making the Stanley Cup freaking finals. If this were a casino game, that would be incredible odds. Like, you tell me, there's a lottery, 1 in 4 chance that you get $1 million, 3 in 4 chance that you don't. You'd feel pretty ecstatic about that, right? 1 out of 4 chance is pretty high, and the Vancouver Canucks have that to make the finals and to win the cup. The Canucks have an 18.5% chance at winning the cup. That's twice the amount of percent odds that the second place team has in Carolina. This is nuts, dude. They've been playing so well, and I know like Money Puck changes every day. Like tomorrow, the Canucks could be down there at like 5th, but whatever, man. We caught it on a good day. This is the highest I've ever seen any team on the Money Puck playoff odds calculations, and Vancouver just happens to be the team to do it. They have an 84.9% chance of finishing first in the division. If you scroll down to these other Pacific teams, there you go. LA has a 6.5% chance now. Vegas has a 3.1% chance now. Edmonton has a 5.2% chance. They've been playing pretty well, not gonna lie. But for Vancouver, 84.9% chance of finishing first, and they have a 116-point pace with everything involved. Like, is that not insane at the halfway mark of the year? They got off to a really hot start, but who knew it would have gone this far, this long? Vancouver is crazy, man, and it's not even just the playoff odds that indicate this. Let's talk about yesterday's Pittsburgh Penguins game, where Elias Pettersson scored the game-winning goal in overtime. His 4th point on the night, and it was just such a beautiful play. Great pass by Filip Hronek. But because of this, Elias Pettersson now has the game-winning goal in 4 straight games, and he's only the 3rd player in NHL history to do that. 4 straight game-winning goals against okay, let's do this off the top of my head. So Pittsburgh last night. Okay, that was great. There was the game against the New York Islanders the other night, and then the Rangers, and then the Devils. Right. Elias Pettersson getting goals in each of those games, and literally, this has only been done by Daniel Alfredsson in 2007 January, and Newsy Lalonde, who in February 100 years ago, 1921, had 5 goals in a row, 5 game-winning goals in a row. So that's a pretty obscure name right there. Let's go over to Mr. Newsy Lalonde and his page here. Okay, no, not this. Not the Elite Prospects page. I mean, it says some of the other things here. He's got 2 Art Rosses and 1 time Maurice Richard goal-scoring trophy. He was a beast with the Canadiens literally 100 years ago. But if you go over to the Wikipedia page, here it is. Hockey Hall of Fame 1950. Newsy Lalonde, by the way, very big Canada, Vancouver guy in the lacrosse scene, so good on him to get his name in the record books. But this is such an obscure stat, man. Newsy Lalonde, 100 years ago, got 5 game-winning goals in a row. Pettersson and Alfredsson are the only 2 people ever, since, to go out there and match this. And the records get even crazier when you look at some of the other numbers. Here is the NHL PR team. Elias Pettersson scored in overtime and became the 6th player in Canucks history with 10 4-point games, joining Pavel Bure, Trevor Linden, McGillney, Skriko, and Henrik Sedin. Put some respect on Petri Skriko's name, man, because this guy is one of the most underrated Canucks superstars the team has ever had. But he's got 10 career 4-point games, and he's only down by 1 against Pavel Bure and Linden. Henrik Sedin is regarded as arguably the best individual Canuck of all time. Pavel Bure was probably the most talented. Henrik Sedin is argued to being the best, and Henrik only had 10. Pettersson matched that. And Pettersson's only 24, 25 years old? Dude, Henrik Sedin played a long, storied career with the Vancouver Canucks. He could never do what Pettersson did in the same amount of time as Petey. This is crazy. And then there's also the same stat on the graphic of the Daniil Alfredsson, Newsy Lalonde thing. The interesting thing about this stat, though, the 4 straight game-winning goals by Pettersson, is that they were all done on the road. Take a look at this Canucks stat. Elias Pettersson becomes the first player in NHL history to score the game-winning goal in 4 straight road games. There you go, road games. So the Islanders, Rangers, Devils, and the Penguins here. Pettersson calls game, and you can see some of the replies here. Kate said 3rd. Which one of y'all is lying? And no, it's he's the 3rd to do it in general. You talk about Newsy Lalonde and Alfredsson doing it in general. Pettersson is the first to do it on the road specifically. So there were some home games here when these guys from 100 years ago and 2007 were able to do it. These are not the only crazy stats about the Vancouver Canucks, though. Let's go out there and see what JFresh has to say. At the midpoint of the season, the Canucks have a 105.2 PDO. PDO is a luck metric. It goes out there and measures the save percentage that a team has added to their shot percentage, their shooting percentage. So anything above 100 is generally regarded as lucky, but the Canucks have a 105.2 PDO, which is classified as extremely, extremely lucky. Now, you could say it is lucky, but the actual definition of the stat without all the subtext behind it, it's just save percentage and shooting percentage added together. This is the highest 41-game mark since the 95-96 Penguins, and only the 5th time since 1980 that a team has put up a PDO that high at this point in the season. Here are the highest PDOs at the 41-game marks of their seasons in all situations since 1979-80. You have the 80s Oilers with 2 seasons in a row with 106.5 and 106.3. You've got the Islanders in the 80s when they were winning all those Stanley Cups. You've got the Penguins in the 90s, and the 23-24 Vancouver Canucks are right in there too. Brandon goes out there and asks, how many of those teams made the finals? And the response is here. 2 cup wins, 1 runner-up, and 1 Game 7 of the conference finals. So if you wanted to say that Vancouver is gonna have themselves a pretty good chance at doing this, 18.5% chance at winning the cup, hey, just making the finals, that 1 in 4 chance opportunity that Money Puck is saying exists here, yeah, it kind of checks out with the other stats that we're looking at. Now, obviously, it's not guaranteed. I'm just kind of memeing around here, just looking at some of the other situations. But the 80s Oilers, Islanders, Penguins, 2 cups, 1 runner-up in the finals, 1 Game 7 Stanley Cup Conference Finals loss, the Canucks are on pace to doing some incredible things based off of some of the records of other teams that are comparable to them. And at the end of the day, when it comes to this team, there's just so much to be proud of as a fan. Obviously, us fans, we didn't do anything. We're just watching. But the fact that we are still watching after all those years of turmoil, it was just 5 years ago when this team sucked. It took such a long time to go from 2010, 2011 days to now that the short turnaround from Jim Benning to Jim Rutherford, Patrick Allvin coming in here, getting the depth, getting all these extra guys, and bringing the best out of these players. Rick Tocchet is going to the All-Star game, folks. He's going to be a coach. That was announced earlier today. We didn't make a video about it because, I don't really want to talk about that for 8 minutes, but Things are going well in Canuckland, and stats like these are going to show just how much this fan base is owed by the hockey gods over the decades. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Canucks and their crazy playoff odds. These stats with Elias Pettersson matching other Canucks guys with 4-point games and matching literal NHL legends in Alfredson and Newsy Lalonde, and the crazy number of the Canucks and their PDO being as high as it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.